Dear racing fans, we've been waiting for you. We've been working, prepping, training, putting together thrilling races, high stakes, favorite traditions, and fresh experiences. From right on the rail to the top of the hill. Whether it's your first meet or your 50th, we can't wait to welcome you back this fall. Love, Keeneland.
And a very good Saturday night, everybody. Jeremy Plonk here from Horse Player Now. Welcome into the Keeneland Look Ahead podcast as we preview Sunday's Dowager Stakes card. Day 13 of 17 of the fall meet. We are down to the final 5. We've got one more day for week 3 and then a 4-day racing week, Wednesday through Saturday next week to wrap up the fall meet. We warned you there could be some prices during week 3, and boy, have they been coming in throughout the course of the week. Today, no different. $44 winner, $56 winner, $60 winner. And we came so close to vodka with a twist today at 20-1. We got beat at 27-1 in the Raven Run Stakes. Kappa getting the win there off the also eligible list for Butch Reed coming out of Parks. But what an effort in 2 races this meet, running against the Elders, vodka with the twist, and then coming back against the 3-year-olds today, running on 2 weeks rest. And she ran a really good race, just came up just a bit short. So tough head bob there, tough head bob in the second race. If you were following our key plays on the card, Project Ace looked like an absolute winner in race number 2 and somehow lost the photo finish. I still don't know how the horse lost. I thought he won by a neck and lost one of the worst head bobs you've ever seen. Still 2 winners on the card, $26 in mutuals. A profitable day. We had a nice $14 horse or so on the way out on an overlay price. You don't get those very often, so we'll knock wood on that and hope to get a few more of them up here on Sunday. Welcome into the audience gathering here on the podcast tonight. I know the University of Kentucky is playing their homecoming game right now against Texas, and believe you me, I am rooting for Kentucky tonight. As an Oklahoma alum, anybody against Texas is all right by me. So good luck to those of you watching the game. And I think halftime's about approaching now for the Kentucky game. So maybe you'll catch some of this during halftime. If not, if you're checking on the archives on Sunday, we'll get you set for the card here in just a moment. A little bit more review of what happened on the track today at Keeneland. 2 wins for Luis Saez. Another win for John Velasquez, his 5th stakes win in the meet. He was the rider of Kappa pulling that big 27-1 upset in the Raven Run. Barnes, the 3-year-old for Bob Baffert, just stormed past him in the first stakes race on the card, the Perryville. If you didn't see that, very impressive 8 1/4 length victory there by Barnes. At one time regarded as the Kentucky Derby favorite back January, February of this year. It didn't work out for him going long, but going short. What a performance by Barnes. I guess we'll probably see him in the Malibu Grade 1 7-furlong race at Santa Anita the day after Christmas. Would make plenty of sense for him. Pick 6 had a carryover going into the Saturday card, had one winning ticket on the way out, I believe $208,189 to pay off. Could have been many more than 1 or 2 tickets there. $208,000 payoff in the $1 pick 6. Congrats if you had it. No carryovers going into this Sunday card. Now, the weather's supposed to shift a little bit overnight into Sunday. Some cold front coming through, some potential rain overnight. Temperature's supposed to drop about 20 degrees from what we saw today, near record highs in the low and mid 80s. Tomorrow's supposed to be in the 60s. So keep an eye on the conditions. I think the main track with any kind of moisture and cooling off will tighten up and become rather speed favoring. I would assume that front runners are going to do pretty good on the card tomorrow. But if we get more rain and it's more of a drying out wet track, then it can get heavy. So again, keep an eye on the conditions. If the track doesn't seem to have much moisture to it, it'll be pretty tight then. It'll absorb the moisture that I think it desperately needs this time of year. So I'm going to look towards some front runners, but if races set up for closers, certainly don't be afraid of them. They have had a very good meet with horses stalking and coming from off the pace and winning here at Keeneland. So that's a wrap for the Saturday card. If you saw some workouts this morning with Breeders' Cup implications, Vava for Cherie DeVille headed towards the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. She's coming off a 2nd place finish in the TCA Stakes, Thoroughbred Club of America. She worked this morning here at Keeneland. All systems go to head towards Del Mar and a chance for her in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Ben Tornado, the horse who was runner-up in last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint, he looks good to go. He had a nice workout today at Keeneland as well. So he'll be heading west, and I would imagine those horses will get their final move over the Del Mar track next weekend. But This is a big weekend for Breeders' Cup Works, no doubt about it. This is the one 2 weeks out from the big event, so you want a big work here and just a maintenance move in that last workout before the Breeders' Cup. So a lot of doings around the way. If you go to Keeneland's Twitter feed, X feed, at Keeneland Racing, you'll see a lot of those workout videos of horses who have worked locally at Keeneland or on the YouTube page. So be sure to check all those out. We're going to swing through this 9-race card next up for you. Also, we'll have a visit from Brendan Walsh, trainer of a couple contenders in the Dowager Stakes. Tom Leach caught up with him today at Keeneland. So got a little video sound there for you, an audio sound for you with an interview leading into the Dowager Stakes feature race on the 9-race card. Let's take a look at it from the above view, if you will, the snapshot of the card here for Sunday. 9-race program, so that means race number 5 right in the middle is going to be that Keystone swing leg in the early and late pick 5s. Early pick 5 will be races 1 through 5, and then that late pick 5 begins races 5 through 9. Early pick 4, customary in race number 2, and also the final 4 on the card, races 6 through 9. Keeneland turf pick 3 on races 4, 6, and 8. Even numbers wild in the Keeneland turf pick 3, including the featured Dowager Stakes as the main event there in the 8th. That's one of my key plays of 3 on the card. Races 4, 7, and 8 are going to be my key plays here on the Sunday program at Keeneland. Had a decent handicapping week. Again, we just had a chance really for a meat maker today and missed out by 2 noses on those. But we're going to keep grinding forward here as we have a better second half of the meet probably than what we first started out with. So let's continue that momentum into this 9-race card, beginning in race number 1. My only 16th lower level $16,000 claimers in this particular spot. I went with number 6, Ember, probably a horse who's going to be coming from a little off the pace in recent starts, but did show some speed going 1 1/8 at Keeneland last year when showing up over this racetrack and getting a win in Starter Allowance Company. Didn't get any help in terms of pace last time. I think this horse claimed in that race off of Steve Asmussen. I like a little bit of a step up in class off the claim by trainer Matt Williams. I think they've got one in good form for a $51,000 purse. Claimed for $12,500 last time. Ember, they're going to take a shot while the horse is in pretty good form. Again, I think the pace will be a little more honest in this race than the last and should get a little bit to run into. The 2, Interlock Empire, might show a bit of pace in here. The 3, the Thunderer, probably has speed. The 4 sometimes has shown a little bit of pace, sometimes not. We'll see what we get out of that one in terms of speed. The 5, Cherry Soul, also likes to go up towards the front of the pack. So hopefully we get a little more pace set up in here. Number 6, Ember, going to be my top choice in here. Going to need a little bit of help probably. The 8, CFV Bullet, is the morning line favorite. 8-5 in the line. We've got 8-1 on our top pick, but certainly respect the favorite in here off that recent form. 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 4 starts for this runner since changing barns to Hugo Rodriguez. High percentage barn there coming in from Chicago. So Illinois Invader gets Luis Saez to ride. That's a good sign when a shipper can land a top pilot like that. 6-8-2 the way I'm going to line it up in the opener, but this is by no means an open and shut case. Look at the public handicappers in here. I've got the 6. Tom's got the 5. The 4 picked on top by Tim. Scott's got the 10. Nobody's picking the 8, the 8-5 morning line favorite. And yet we go 4 different directions with the other 9 options. So a good betting race, a race maybe where you can make a little bingo here in the opener. Certainly no one is conceding the race in here to CFV Bullet, but everybody's got that horse respected, 2nd or 3rd. Maybe we're trying to be cute by trying to beat the horse in from Hawthorne, but we're taking different options to do it. I think if you're playing multi-race wagers, you're certainly using the 8, but I think you can get a couple in here. 6 and 8 the way I would try to get through the opener, however. Let's go to the second race on the card from the start of the pick 5 to the start of the pick 4. Pick 4 here, races 2 through 5. 7 furlong maiden claimers to get things going in that pick 4 sequence. Field of 12 with 2 also eligible. So capacity lineup likely in this one. Number 9, 7-On. 7-On is going to be my top choice in here at 12-1 in the morning line. Nice price. This is a big class dropper. Shows some speed going long on the turf last time. Now gets back to 1 turn. Not usually a major cutback guy here in my handicapping, but the fact that this horse 7-On ran a nice second here, well beaten second, but a clear second at Keeneland back during the fall meet of 2024 over 6 furlongs tells me this horse can go back to 1 turn and be fairly successful. Last time out for $75,000 on the turf at Churchill, obviously faced much tougher. This is a big class drop. Hutch Holtzapfel over the years has had a winner or two here at Keeneland. Doesn't have a very big stable, but back in the Polytrack era, popped a couple horses here and there. Hutch Holtzapfel, the trainer here, we're going to need a price on the 9-7 on, but at 12-1 in the morning line, I don't have any problem taking that one at a number on the island. Nobody else has the 9 picked anywhere in their top 3. I've got the 11 rest of the world in there, as well as the 8. Just take the cannoli. Somebody must have a grandmother who was forcing food upon them. Samantha Siegel, the owner of the JMS stable, of Just Take the Cannoli. There's probably a good story about that one. 9, 11, 8, 6, the way I've got it lined up here. Smoking Hot Wife for Kenny McPeak. Another one making a class drop off a good second place finish. This one cost $150,000. You hate to see him put him in for $20,000. Put her in for $20,000, but the purse is $48,000. It's probably where she fits. They tried her in 4 maiden specials and she just wasn't competitive. So Smoking Hot Wife probably found the right level now. Irad Ortiz rides, but I'll try to beat that one. The 6 is the lukewarm 3-1 morning line favorite. Tom's got that one on top. Twisted Viper to 3 and Country Club to 5. Also get top tabs in here. So look, we're 2 races in and there is no agreement from the public handicappers on any of the first 2. So why not fish around for some prices in here? I'll go with 7 on the 9, 12-1 odds. We'll see if we can get some kind of agreement as we get further through this card. To the 3rd race we go next. Starter allowance, 6.5 furlongs, the distance in this one. Field of 9 entered. These are 2-year-olds in starter allowance companies. So some of the statistics and things and trends that you follow with starter allowances might not really apply in this particular spot. It's the same basic concept as for horses who have started for $50,000 or less. But there's also some other ways in there. If they broke their maiden in a maiden auction race or never won a race other than, there's a lot of different ways these 2-year-olds can be involved in this particular starter allowance level. And also when you're talking about 2-year-olds, the typical starter allowance usually has like a lot of veteran multi-race winners, horses who have won 8, 10, 12 times are what we usually see in starter allowance races. This is a little bit different. It is a starter allowance, but I wouldn't get too fixed on any kind of trends or ways that we normally play starter allowances because, again, these are just 2-year-olds and all the horses in here looking for that second career start. I ended up going to the 9 Valhalla in here, has 2 races on the resume by Vekoma, a really sharp sire here on the main track at Keeneland. Vekoma's got 2 of them in here, the 9 Valhalla and the 4 Have Faith. These horses win at a high percentage, the Vekomas on the main track, especially the 2-year-olds who were running through here last year. So young horses by Vekoma, certainly ones you want to consider here on the main. 2 starts for this runner, a good one at Saratoga on a muddy track, and a good one at Kentucky Downs on the turf. Can take the track with them, bred to like it here at Keeneland. Give me the 9 Valhalla on top in race number 3. Let's see. I have the 9 on top, but the graphics got me showing the 4 Have Faith. That should be 9, 6, and 1 in there. 9, 6, 1, 4 is the way I've got it written up. And as I look at the top of my past performances, my 9 looks really sloppy. And I think when I inputted these in, I thought it said 4. So we're going 9, 6, 1, 4. Disregard the graphic here. But the 9 is the top pick in here, not the 4. The 4 is my 4th choice. Valhalla, top pick in here, 8-1 in the morning line. As for the other handicappers going across the way, number 7, Scott's Law, has a top choice in here. Scott's Law, also the 6, Starlit Night, and the 8, Peach Tie. 3rd race on the card. 3rd time that all 4 handicappers have a different horse. You can kind of see there's not a lot of consensus on this program, so we're probably not looking at a lot of horses that are going to be 4 to 5 even money types, at least that we feel are solid placed. I mean, they could get bet that low, but there are other options to find in these races, and I think that's the moral to the story. But again, I want to repeat here in race number 3, and I'll get this graphic fixed on the website if you print it out, and if you follow tomorrow and get the final Substack sent out, we'll make sure we get the corrected number in there. 9, 6, 1, 4, my choices in race number 3. Again, apologies there for the upload error on the graphic. All right, let's go to race number 4 here. Key play number 1 of 3 on the card for me in race number 4. Keeneland Turf pick 3 is going to start here. The pick 6 will start here. Again, if you missed the top of the show, pick 6 hit today for $208,000. Congrats if it was you. Celebrate and brag. As for others in this pick 6 sequence coming up on Sunday, we'll be playing with no carryover into the Sunday pool. So pick 6 begins here in race number 4. Mile and a 16th on the turf in this particular spot for the 2-year-olds going long. And this is a spot where long shots have had a lot of success in these races over the years. 2-year-old maiden specials going long on the turf. I know we had a couple of these right at the beginning of the meet. Average winner in these races about 9-1, a $20 mutual. You can get a price in these particular races, so you don't have to settle on a short price. And I'll tell you, we're not taking a short price in this race. This is going to be one of our first key plays of the day because number 11, Time Stream, is 15-1 in the morning line. Didn't show a whole lot in the career debut at Kentucky Downs, but Steve Asmussen's 2-year-olds are running really well at the meet. And this one is sired by Not This Time. If you've been watching the podcast over the last week or so, we said we're sitting around waiting for another one of these Not This Times to show up on the turf. Last Sunday, they ran 1-2 in the 2-year-old stakes turf sprint. Throughout the meet, we've seen 7 winners on the turf, an incredible number. 5 of them 2-year-olds, I believe 4 or 5 of them stakes. The 2-year-olds by Not This Time are flocking to the turf at Keeneland. So we are going with number 11 live stream or Time Stream as our top pick, 15-1 in the morning line. We'll see what kind of price we get. Maybe see what this horse looks like on the track. Again, didn't show much in the career debut at Kentucky Downs, but it was a race where the third place finishers already come back to win. We'll see. Fresh start here. You get Luis Saez. They're not messing around. Steve's not riding one of his sons on this one. He's riding Luis Saez and going to one of the top pilots. So give me number 11 Time Stream in here. Pick third by Kim and by Scott. I'm going to play this angle out here with Not This Time and the Asmussens, who have all really outrun their odds and run really well this week. Not only at Keeneland, the other night he had 5 winners at Remington Park. Steve's string is going really well right now. 11-2-4 for me here in race number 4. I'll take the number 2 in here. The Babe Slayer is my second choice. 9-2 in the morning line. This is another for Asmussen. Had a bad post last time out. Rallied for second in there. Go back to the races in the spring when this horse started in May and June. Outfielder and Longshoreman were 2 really, really impressive 2-year-old turf sprinters early in the game. This horse should have broke his maiden long ago, but really caught a couple tough fields. The Babe Slayer can certainly be a big factor in this particular race. As for the 4, Mere Woods, first-time starter there for trainer Mike Maker. I like the pedigree on this one. You got the speed on top by Munnings. You got the Lemon Drop Kid on the dam side, which usually gets some decent long turf runners. Mere Woods, good breeding here for the career debut, $350,000 colt. And the works are decent, the long, steady pattern. And Mike Maker, we like him this time of year, and he's had a pretty good week here, week 3 at Keeneland. Jose Ortiz will ride Mere Woods. So 11-2-4. The 1, Prince of Light, picked on top in here by both Tom and by Scott for trainer Brendan Walsh, coming off a second-place finish on the main track at Churchill Downs. The Ellis Turf race was the worst race of his 3, but he had some traffic in that race by City of Light out of a Malibu Moon mare. I'm not sure this horse is better on dirt or turf. Pedigree is kind of more dirt than turf, and the running line suggests that as well. So I didn't use the 1, Prince of Light, but Tom and Scott both have that horse on top, so certainly respect them. 3-1 on Prince of Light, also the morning line favorite. 63 buyer speed figure last time out, probably part of that in terms of the favoritism. Same number earned by the Babe Slayer in post 2, but like these Not This Time offspring, we're going to take a shot. We might have already missed the train on that, right? I mean, when they've already had 7 wins and have done so much good, maybe we missed the train on the Not This Times, but I'm going to go back one more time. Time Stream, the 11 horse here in race number 4. 5th race on the card is a starter allowance. We mentioned the starter 2-year-old race a couple races prior. The 5th race is more of a traditional starter allowance like we're used to seeing. This distance, though, is not what we're used to seeing. 1 mile and an 1/8 for starter allowance company. Pretty rare trip here for the older horses at Keeneland here in the fall. 12-horse field, though, a lot lining up to take a shot at this. $50,000 person. Again, a 12-5 starter allowance means the horses have run for 12,500 claiming or less in the last year. Plus, that's more of a traditional, what we see in terms of a traditional starter allowance. You got horses in here that have won 6, 7 plus races throughout their career. A little bit more on the bone in terms of our handicapping for this race. To this race we go in race number 5. And again, in terms of the multi-race wagers, this will kick off the late pick 5. It'll also be the swing race in the early pick 5. If you can lock down an opinion here, maybe you can pull something out in terms of both of the halves, both the early and the late pick 5. I went with number 8 in here. Hey Boss, 8-1 in the morning line. Larry Ravelli trained, bringing this one in from his Chicago base. Got no help at all pace-wise last time out. won 12-3 for 6 furlongs at Churchill. Tried to close a little bit, ended up third in there as the favorite, behind a couple horses back in this race, Twirling Trolley and Huge Bigley. I think this is going to be a rather key race to handicap in terms of these. Second start since being claimed by Ravelli. He typically moves horses up. Again, I think pace compromised last time. I think Hey Boss will run a good one under James Graham. Give me the 8 on top. Scott's also got that one on top. 12 Money Run, picked for Tom. The 4, My Noble Knight, picked on top here by Kim. But I think, it's nice to at least have one person agree with you so far on the card. Scott and I are both here on Hey Boss. But a big, deep closer in here. And at 1.125 sometimes these races slow down. And at this kind of class level, you probably want to be a little bit closer to the pace. So let's hope that this horse doesn't fall just completely out the back of the race. But the 1, Mr. Muldoon's got some speed. The 5, Twirling Trolley, probably is right up to the front, as is the 10, People Force. Money Run on the outside's got to show speed in here, a ton of speed, and you wonder how far Money Run can run. Has been mostly a one-turn sprinter, has gone a mile at Del Mar and Los Al for trainer Peter Miller, really a sprint speed kind of trainer. So this pace should cook, and not that plodding 1.125 that you're used to seeing on the main track for some cheaper horses like this in the starter allowance ranks. So the key to the race, if you really want to get the 8 Hey Boss home, is for the 12 Money Run to really string this field out and go fast. That could happen. Money Run picked on top by Tom to lead every poll likely. If he's going to win this race, it's almost certainly going to be a wire-to-wire attempt from the outside. Big field, good opportunities in race number 5. If you're looking at, a lockdown kind of single, I don't think it exists when you're looking at the early and late pick 5s. But if you can get Key Boss in there or Hey Boss in there as a key at a medium type price, 6-8 to 1, can be very effective for the early and late pick 5s. But they do not look like the early pick 5 is a very easy sequence, right? Some of these races you're kind of projecting a bit and trying to beat some favorites. And if you hit the early pick 5, I think you're going to get paid pretty handsomely. And that's kind of been the story of the entire race week here at Keeneland. To the 6th race we go. Next up on the program, we're going to start the 6th with the middle jewel in the turf pick 3 on Sunday. Middle leg, of course, and then the pick 4 starts in this race. Races 6 through 9 will wrap things up. Turf sprinters here, to second level turf sprinters, going 5.5 on the green, 12-horse field, full field turf sprint. You know the power post, right? 3, 4, and 5. So we're looking for somebody in post 3, 4, and 5 with a big advantage in terms of statistics. They get a great trip typically out of these post positions. And I think number 4, Don't Say It, is the most attractive of those horses in that draw. The 3 is Hideki. The 4 is Don't Say It. The 5 is Princess Bettina. And just looking at those horses and trying to match them up, I would say the 4, Don't Say It, is clearly the strongest of that group. This horse has not raced since February. Brad Cox trains. He goes to his longtime go-to pilot, Florent Giroux. They're not always, A and B like they used to be, but certainly Giroux has ridden this horse with some success. Don't Say It has run off a layoff once in his career from October to August of 2024, laid off about 10 months and came back and won that day, trying to do something similar off about an 8-month layoff here from February the 2nd. So this horse can fire fresh, and that's a good sign here. So Don't Say It, the 4, gets a good post. It's Brad Cox, going to be flying late. Doesn't have a lot of early speed, but this horse can cook late. And a horse coming off a layoff a lot of times will show a little bit more early speed and get up into the race because they're fresh and geeked up and ready to go. I don't want the 4 completely out of the clouds and coming from last to 12, but if this horse can get any kind of trip at all, mid-pack can take advantage of that good post position. The 6, Big Trouble's the morning line favorite. Certainly the horse with the most credentials in this race. Stakes place type runner. Big Trouble in here. Only has the 2 career wins, but a horse who's in good form right now. First start off the layoff at Churchill, came back a winner. Comes back here second off the layoff. Has a good race over the track at Keeneland, going 5.5 here in the spring. Just missing by a half length behind repeat winner Saturday Flirt. Plenty to like with the 6, Big Trouble. No big knock there, but I'm going to try to take my shot with the 4. The other one to definitely work into here is number 12, Nikki Nine Doors. This horse for trainer Christopher Davis has 2 starts over the turf here at Keeneland sprinting. Broke the maiden nicely back in the spring of 24. Came back in the fall of 24. Just missed at 6 to 1. Got beat a half length in that one before going on the bench. Has come back this year. Hasn't won in 5 starts, but has been right there knocking on the door. 3 losses as runner up by less than a length. Nicky Nine Doors now goes to Irad Ortiz Jr. Might be enough to get over the top. 4, 12, and 6, the way I've got it lined up here in race number 6. The 13, if this one comes in, Sweet Coffee off of the also eligible list. Certainly keep an eye on the 13 if that one is able to draw in the field. Again, that's race number 6 for you. Starting the late pick 4. I think you can get by 3 deep in here, 4, 12, 6, the way I would line it up. And in the Keeneland Turf pick 3, looking at something similar. But the 4, don't say it. If you get any kind of price at all, 9-2 in the morning line, 4-1 or up. I think that's a good straight play from one of these power posts. This horse is going to have a chance to get a really nice trip in here in the 6th. 7th race we go next, a first level allowance race at 1 1/8 miles on the main track. And when you get 1 1/8 miles main tracks with these classy allowance types, as we start here with one of our key plays, think Todd Pletcher in these races. He's had more 9 furlong race wins at Keeneland on the dirt than any other trainer. It's by a decent margin. He's got classy horses, and he's got one here, Only in America, who I think is going to be very strong in this particular spot. Only in America won at Saratoga last time out, coming off the April layoff from Gulfstream, and this is a horse by Constitution, $700,000 purchase. You got class. The farther they go, the class should shine at 9 furlongs in these allowance races. Gets in at 118 pounds. A lot of these are getting in at 118 as 3-year-olds. But again, a feathery weight, 1 1/8 miles, a good, classy Pletcher horse. This horse has every reason to kind of shine through, I think, and wear him down. So John Velasquez riding so well at the meet. 5 stakes wins at the meet for John Velasquez. Unreal. And last weekend, he didn't even ride here at Keeneland last weekend. Went back up to New York for Saturday, and then Sunday took off for personal reasons. So Johnny V with 5 stakes wins at the meet, taking a couple days off last week, and still putting up the numbers that he is. I've got him with Only in America. I think this one at 7-2 in the morning line is a horse I'm really laying into for the late pick 4 and pick 5. This is single city for me here in race number 4, and it's not the morning line favorite. Keep an eye on it here. Number 2, Sun Thunder. I think a horse who's got some back class about him, coming off a layoff for Kenny McPeak. Has only raced once this year, but a 5-year-old who's working really well here at Keeneland. 59 and change, 47 and change in the workout tab. Could be coming up to a decent race. Sun Thunder probably doesn't win, but at 1 1/8 miles, I think some of that back class gets a chance to shine through a little bit. And Sun Thunder is going to be passing some horses with a really good draw in here. Gets to face mostly 3-year-olds, has to give them 4 pounds, but does have some experience edge on the field. I think Sun Thunder can be interesting underneath. 4-2 exacta for me in here. The 9 Excites, the morning line favorite at 5-2. Bill Mott, Irad Ortiz teaming up here. This horse comes off a 3rd in the St. Louis Derby. That doesn't sound that great running at Fairmount Park. That was actually a pretty good race. Hypnos, who ran 2nd, is a good Kenny McPeak, who's been very competitive at the grade 2, grade 3 level in some of these 3-year-old races around the country. And the winner of that St. Louis Derby was Disco Time for Brad Cox, who earlier in the year won the Lecompton. He looked like he was one of the ones on the Louisiana Derby trail, but he went radio silent, went off the workout tab, had an issue, obviously, didn't get back to the races until this summer, and now Disco Time, a really good winner. So if you look at that St. Louis Derby and you see the 3rd place finish for Excite, you're probably like, that wasn't that great getting beat 8 lengths. But the top 2 in there, the top one's definitely good. The second horse is a really solid 3-year-old. So that wasn't such a bad race. Excite is by Elate. I believe she was runner-up in the Spinster Stakes here in her racing days. She won a couple grade 1s on the dirt, though, in New York. I think a late 2nd here in the Spinster might have been during the Poly era. I'd have to go back and check that out. But a late, really classy mare, the Dam of Excite. But I'm going to try to beat her in this particular spot, or beat this horse in this spot from the 9 hole out there. And the one race over the track at Keeneland's really kind of on the turf, so you can't really gauge much out of that. I don't know how the 9 is going to handle the track here at Keeneland, but I think the 4, Only in America, is going to be the one, and we're going to take that one. I don't have a big knock on the 9. I'm trying to find reasons to other than the morning line being 5-2. But the 9 should be part of the mix. But I'm definitely singling in here on the 4. Probably won't play a 4-9 exacta, though. There's no value in that. So I'm trying to get a bigger price 2nd in Sun Thunder. Play the 4 straight up singling in the multi-race wagers. If you get a good enough win price in this race, I could go in certainly anything 2-1, 5-2. That kind of price on Only in America is a decent win bet. And for an exacta, the 4 with the 2, trying to get a big price in there underneath. That's the way I'll take a look at race number 7. Let's see what the other handicappers have lined up here. I don't think we checked in on this field. Excite, top pick for no one. No one's going with the morning line favorite in here. Kim and I both on Only in America. Energize the 8, getting top picks in here from Scott and Tom. Didn't give Energize probably the proper respect maybe coming out of these races at Delaware Park. Good trainer, and Mike Stidham, Medaglia d'Oro horse who's run 4 times, has 1 win, just missed by a nose last time out. The win came in maiden company at Delaware, though, and this horse ran at Pimlico Preakness week, ran 3rd to Varney, a Bob Baffert trainee, got well beat in that particular spot. I don't know. The number's there, I guess 86 by her speed figure, but 93 for Only in America. I'd love to hear the Godolphin case to be made for Energize. Scott and Tom both going with that runner who goes blinkers off, and the last 2 starts were improved with blinkers. So listen in today at Keeneland. Certainly respect the handicapping of Tom and Scott. I'd love to hear what they have to say about Energize in race number 7 today at Keeneland. Of course, 11:30 a.m. Eastern on the simulcast feed. Your first look at the conditions of the track and everything at Keeneland. So tomorrow, with a potential weather change, would be a good day to tune in to that today at Keeneland broadcast. They give you a clocker report, Tom Leach's long shot play of the day. Be sure to check that out on the Keeneland simulcast feed, 11:30 a.m. Eastern each racing day. And let's see why they like Energize to pull a minor upset there in race number 7. To the 8th we go. It's the Dowager Stakes feature race on the program, and the Dowager Stakes in race number 8, one of our key plays, and the final leg of the Keeneland Turf Pick 3. I'll tell you who I like in this race in just a moment, but Tom Leach caught up with trainer Brendan Walsh, who's had just a tremendous run here in 2025 at Keeneland. He has Spanish Eyes and Venencia as 2 of the entrants in this field. And he also has Bless My Stars. 3 of the 9 entrants in the Dowager Stakes are from the Brendan Walsh barn. Let's listen in to what he had to say today in the paddock with Tom.
Talk with Brendan Walsh. Had 3 going in the Dowager on Sunday. Spanish Eyes. Any excuse for the race last time at Kentucky Downs? Any trouble?
Probably just didn't handle the track, Tom. Certain horses don't, so I'd say draw a line through it. She's come out of it fine, has been working good, so I think she's back, hopefully set to run a big race on Sunday.
How did you see her improve through those previous efforts when she was going so well?
She'd been doing really good, but her form in Europe was very good before she got over here, and she seemed to carry it through fine, but that was just, I'm hoping it's just the one we just draw a line through.
Venencia, first time in your barn. What have you learned about that one?
She's nice. She's been working good. Maybe this is what she wants. I guess we'll find out on Sunday, but she has been working well, so we'll see if this suits her.
What tells you that the 1.5 miles might be ideal for her?
She's bred to go long, and it seems from her races that she's only seems to have been getting going at the end of her races, so I think it's definitely worth a try.
And Bless My Stars, first time for you also, but off since January. How's she training?
Good, yeah, nice filly. She obviously was a top filly in South Africa and came over here. She's, she was a little in and out over here, but she's had some excuses. So hopefully we've got her back to her old form, and if we have, then she should be competitive.
Good information there from Brendan Walsh and Tom Leach. Thanks for the reporting there. Let's talk about this 8th race, the Dowager Stakes. Walsh has 3 in here, but I'm going to number 8, Miwa, for trainer Joe Sharp. Joe Sharp is a trainer who does well with these 1.5 mile turfers at Keeneland. He hasn't run many of them, but when he has, 10 starters, 2 wins, 3 seconds. And a 3rd, going 12 furlongs on the turf at Keeneland. Miwa's a horse coming off a good 3rd place finish last time out in the Kentucky Downs Ladies. If this race stays on the turf, you've got the international breeding and experience. I always say handicap the parentheses on soft turf or on, softer going. The horses with parentheses in their name were bred in foreign countries, a lot of times raced in foreign countries, and will have a little bit of an advantage on a soft going. I know in the comment section, I want to address a little bit of that. Some folks in the comment section here for the podcast are saying that are more in tune with the local weather with me, that it is supposed to be windy and rainy tomorrow at Keeneland for sure. So if it stays that way, I'll handicap all of the updates for you tomorrow morning, as we typically do. Make sure that you sign up for the Substack and get my free written information for an update for all the handicapping on a particular card. Each day I send it out after scratches and changes. So you can get that free in your email inbox. Sign up, jeremyplonk.substack.com, and we'll get all the information to you that way. Also, we have a social media hit here on X on the at Keeneland Racing and at Horse Player Now feeds after, somewhere in the 11 or 12 o'clock hour with the final thoughts on each card and updated picks and analysis. So if these races do come off the turf that we're talking about today, we'll get all the updated picks for you then. Right now, we're going to handicap them like they will stay on the turf. But again, we'll see what Mother Nature has to say tomorrow. But there are some folks in the comment section that are pretty confident that we'll be off the turf tomorrow. I don't have any insight to that, but certainly want to be cognizant of that. And I appreciate the feedback from the folks who are giving me the local weather information. But I'm going Miwa in here. And if the race stays on the turf and we've got a soft turf going, should really handle those type of conditions. Get this, with jockey Jose Ortiz, this is really one of the stats that kind of lean me in a direction. 1.5 miles on the turf at Keeneland, unbelievable. With 43 mounts, 11 wins, 25% wins for Jose Ortiz going 1.5 miles on the turf. That just seems like almost unbelievable because the 1.5 mile turf races, as competitive as they are, and the jockey colony is competitive as it is at Keeneland, a 25% win rate in those kind of races with a 43 race sample size is rather significant. Tells you Jose Ortiz rides this trip extremely well. I've got him with Miwa here, the 8 on top. 2 Spanish Eyes, my second choice, German bred. Again, if this one comes or stays on a softer type turf course, the Given the Turf should be fine for that one. Brendan Walsh training Spanish Eyes, as you know from the interview. So I've got this race 8, 2, 1, and 6, the way I'm going to line them up in the Dowager Stakes. As for the other handicappers in here, Spanish Eyes, the 2 picked on top by Kim. The 1, Boss Lady Bailey, my third choice in here, top pick for Tom, 20-1 in the morning line. I smell a long shot play of the day from Tom Leach there. The 9, Bless My Stars, the other Brendan Walsh in here, moving from Todd Pletcher's barn to Brendan Walsh for the first time. The South African export, top choice in here for Scott. So we're all around it. 1, 2, 8, 9, 6. I mean, there's a lot of different horses showing up in the picks here in race number 8. And that's the way I'm going to line it up. 8, 2, 1, and 6 in the Dowager Stakes. One of my key plays on the card here, Miwa. We're going to try to get Jose Ortiz another victory at 1.5 miles on the turf. And I think we're going to get a fair price in doing so. 9-2 in the morning line. I'm all in here on Miwa in race number 8. Try to get a daily double with those back-to-back key plays as we look at how the card lines up for us with key plays in back-to-back races in 7 and 8. Love Only in America, singling that runner in race number 7. So we want to get some strong doubles, 4 and 8, going from race 7 to 8. So in race 7, we want to get a strong double, 4, 8 in there. Only in America, Miwa, if we can hit these 2 key plays back-to-back, we want to try to maximize what we get out of it. Let's go to race number 9 now and wrap things up on this Sunday card. Toyota Super High 5 there. I'm going to go with number 12 to wrap things up. Final horse in the program for the day. Number 12, Something Dangerous. We told you Steve Asmussen's 2-year-olds are all running well right now. And this one is by Yalpon, the outstanding sprinter. And out of Gas Station Sushi, she was a Beaumont Stakes winner here at Keeneland, and she could flat out fly. Gas Station Sushi had a short career, but she was a runner right from the get. And I imagine that Something Dangerous, the 12, is going to come out running as well. Top pick here in the finale. Steve Asmussen teaming them up with Jose Ortiz. Again, going to an A-list rider here. They hit 28% together. 6-1 in the morning line. Would love to get that on this first-time starter, Something Dangerous. As for the others in here, number 7 coming soon. Brad Cox, another well-bred Munnings Red Hot Babe, homebred for Gary and Mary West. Decent workout tab for this one. Expect this one to come out running 9-2 in the morning line. Ortiz brothers maybe 1-2 in this particular spot with the rookies. As those of those who have run, number 5, Trouble Calling, didn't get out of the gate in the debut, but closed along nicely in that one. Trainer Greg Foley usually gets late running sprinters. Maybe 7/8 will be the best trip for Trouble Calling. So at 7-2 in the morning line, I'm going to try to beat the morning line favorite in this spot. Scott and Kim both have that one on top, but I think 7/8 might be the best call, or a 1-turn mile for Trouble Calling when they get back to Churchill Downs and they run the 1-turn miles. I'll try to beat that one in this particular spot. 12-7-4, the way I'm going to line it up here in the 9th and final for Sunday at Keeneland. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Our final for this week. It'll be a 2-day off situation before we get back at it. Tuesday night for Wednesday's card. A reminder, 4 days of racing remain at Keeneland after Sunday. We've got a 4-day racing week, Wednesday through Saturday, to wrap things up for the 2025 fall meet. Again, keep an eye on the conditions. Follow at Keeneland Racing for all the updates on scratches, changes, weather, surfaces, all that kind of stuff as we get to iffy weather day on Sunday. And quite frankly, we just haven't had those this meet, right? It's just been so unseasonably warm and dry and sunny that we haven't had a lot of off days in terms of the weather. So we'll see what we get for Sunday. But again, if we get off track, we'll adjust to that and we'll update all of our picks for you, not only on the website, but at that Substack as well. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8:30, or not tomorrow night. Our next podcast will be Tuesday night, as we just said, for the Keeneland Look Ahead. Tuesday night, we'll preview that Wednesday card. And one last look, if you want to sign up for that Substack, jeremyplonk.substack.com, and I'll update you with free handicapping information for you after the scratches and changes are announced tomorrow. 11 o'clock hours, usually right around there, that we send out that Substack, and we'll get you updated. Plus, we'll have Breeders' Cup information on the Substack a little bit later. We'll have tracks from around the country as well, not just Keeneland information on my Substack. So I'll be sure to sign up for that for free. Have a great night, everybody. Good luck to the Cats in the second half, and happy homecoming to those of you back in Lexington for the weekend. Take care, everybody. Good luck Sunday at Keeneland.